So, yesterday I started talking about kill boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
So, what exactly is a it's this the space where you want to engage on the enemy. As soon as they step in it, you must be ready to engage and follow up with your plan, win condition also. So I'm just gonna go over the vote where you didn't play Bastion, which is not a lot, and we're gonna basically stop on most of the maps, and most of them are King of the Hill, and we're just gonna talk about where the kill box is for when you're defending. And on some maps, we're just gonna talk about how to escape those kill boxes. So first map on Night Market. I'm just gonna show you the first one. Then I'm just gonna ask you so you can figure it out yourself during the review. And the first kill box is here. It's super easy. As soon as they walk out of the choke, then you engage. When you have all the space control, you usually set up somebody here. You have the Doomfist over there for some reason. It's also a good position. It's not that bad. But
Um,
you see, yeah,
what about if they have a sim? Do we set up on point or here?
yeah. I was gonna talk about this. Yeah, if they have sim, then you fall back to point.
Okay.
Um, there is also like if this is your kill box, and most teams would hold you here. When you need to retake, what is the best solution to just get out of the not play in the queue? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Up here, and then you drop. So once you come up here, um, okay, no, fuck that. So you're defending, and this team is actually better. So they go on the high ground, and they start pushing you. This is when you fall back all the way to point, and basically this choke here is going to serve as your kill box. So as soon as they walk past the choke, then you engage. It's it's not really the best solution, but it's currently it's the only one we have, because they can easily walk through this and the other one, and they can engage on you. But if the team is not smart enough to go high ground, then this is your kill box.
And if they go high ground, should it be playing the boops or just back off?
No, I
Yes.
just said that you back off
You
the
back
point.
off. Okay.
Yeah, and then you play for this choke. You
So is
can
it
you
like
can also, yeah.
so is it like whichever one we think they're gonna go to, like this one or the one over here, that's the one we set up on, or should we have what the or should we have like maybe like Sigma here and Arissa at the other one? So that way, and then whichever one they walk through first, we choose that one.
um well, there's a couple of different things you can do. Like you can back off a little bit and then just play around one of the two sides. It doesn't really matter. Or you can hide with Orisa in between the two chokes. The second one is a little bit more risky, but it's still like you're gonna use your corners, and as long as you don't get pulled, and even if you get pulled, like you're gonna get pulled in the Orisa's face, so you're gonna be facing her most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So next example is on control center. So you got the early cap here. You want the neutral. Can this thing stop? Okay. So where do you think you set up your defense here?
Left side of robot, and then killbox's main. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. This choke is really hard to go past. Sometimes you can. you can really get choked there. So having Reaper here, Doomfist is, yeah, you can be either here or on the outside, doesn't really matter. I think you're getting a good engage off here. Yeah, you get the kill off, but then you lose the fight because of the shatter. This is a mistake from you because you were one up. You should have been going in, and you got scared of the coalescence, even though you had your own. But that's fine. Another thing I wanted to show you is this is what San Francisco Shock has been doing in this meta. They are not holding close there at the choke. They're holding this corridor because they're utilizing the high ground here for Doomfist, so he can engage with his E, and they're using this corner over here to hide the Reaper, and it's really effective because of two things. First of all, you get like high ground engage with the Doomfist with his E, so you're damaging a lot of people, and especially if you have coalescence, it's gonna be super effective. Second of all, this pillar here in the corridor is really good to first to split off enemies and just to have them into different groups, and also it's really good to punch in somebody there, like Orisa or Sigma. But this is again, I'm just showing you a couple of different options. So this is what I've seen Safris could do. As soon as the Orisa walks past, they go in with the 2 DPS and the rest of the team, and it actually works really well for them.
So for like in this scenario with like the kill box, it like does it not matter like who walks past or like if they've used any cooldowns yet or anything? You just always try and kill that person.
It really depends on what your Doomfist is gonna get. Most of the time, he would engage with his right click, with his punch, and you usually want to follow up on that target if you can, of course. But there is like, at least in the current meta, there is no set in stone on a specific target. It's not like Dive Zen in the dive meta, or just burn the Rhine shield and just burn Rhine in goats. It's kind of like you need to react to the opportunities you create with your DPS players.
So pretty much kill who's low.
Yeah.
Well, but in this case, wouldn't nobody be low yet? Because like they've just like walked here, so we haven't really been able to damage anybody yet.
Yeah.
Do the-
And considering your Doomfist is going in from the high ground with his E, wait, this is actually not a good drawing because you can mix it up with the stairs. So what I mean is the platform that is up here on the left. So he's gonna basically be attacking like this. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna E, then he's gonna shift up, and you can get you can literally get all of them, and if there's a squishy in it, you can just follow up on it. But if you pull like one or two players and then you engage with Doomfist, you can follow up on them, especially if they're Rhine or Zarya, because they're kind of shit right now. Like if you're playing the mirror matchup, there is everyone, almost everyone in this composition has an escape ability. So it's really hard to focus up on one target and just commit all your resources to him, so just so he can escape, if that makes any sense. And then you're just left without any cooldowns.
So oh wait, I think I get it. So like, so when they like come in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we do like the engage right with the E, and then it's like anybody who we think is killable, that's like the person they call. So if he like E's and then uppercuts, and there's like maybe there's like a Moira who's low, like right here, and we try and kill her, but then she like fades away over here, so we can't kill her anymore. So then we just change to like, oh, maybe we can try and kill like Lucio who's right here. Maybe try and kill him instead then.
Yeah.
Or if they like back up or something, and then they try and go in again, just like then anyone who's in like the kill box area, that's who we'll try and kill. And then if they leave, then we don't chase them. We just like hold this area, and then and we're only trying to kill the people who are trying to cross. Right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's basically
Okay.
it.
What is my character doing right now?
Dude, I
I
feel
don't
like you're like breakdancing on top of the.
know.
Hair's going one way, the legs are going the other.
Okay, next example. Okay, yesterday I told you to hold close because of the sim,
Mhm.
and then for some reason you just didn't understand me. That's on me. I should have told you like drop on the choke and just hold them there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but then when they came here, people started backing up a little bit, and then I didn't want to go.
They showed Reaper, and then they like stood at that choke for a second, and it made it look like they didn't have a sim in a way, but then it
Yeah,
was kind of like suspicious at the same time.
it was like by the time I saw like the sim, the teleporter was already up, and they had already teleported.
Okay. Um, what you basically are doing here is you're holding up just like in golds, because people in golds just played their defense right here. Um, at least currently the meta is like this. There's nothing unless they pull out the Pharah, but then if they pull out the Pharah, you just take this route and you just go and stabilize on your side of the point. But anything else that they run is just gonna headbutt into you, and then they're gonna lose because you would have a lot more space than them. You have your high ground to engage with the Doomfist, and you can really choke them in this.
Mhm.
If that makes any sense.
So it's like, so this like anything in here is the kill box then, right?
Yeah, yeah, basically.
So as soon as they peek out to start like rotating or whatever, or they go this way, I would like pull them here. Doomfist goes in, and then we would all like yeet ourselves off the high ground, come over here, right, and fight them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And for example, your Reaper can be here
Oh, like
for
Reaper
the
could like
early
start here.
engage. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So you have one, two, and you're gonna be three here.
Oh, so that's like the different angles of attack you were talking about before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next example. This is for second point. Okay. Um, here I told you yesterday that you can go up and hold close, but
Mhm.
that was a mistake. Um, because it's gonna work out the same way as it worked out here. You can see what's going on. So
Mhm.
they're setting up on the low ground, and look, they have both Reaper.
And Sig.
That's Lucio next to him and Sigma. And at the end, as soon as you drop, because they will rotate to point, and then as soon as you drop, the Reaper is gonna be in your backs.
Mhm.
Sigma, I'm not sure if he was gonna stay there, but the Doomfist is also gonna end up in your backline. like I don't know what the Reaper went for there, but he could have easily just stayed here. But he still like ended up on your high ground, on your in your backline, and then they just started killing you. So you got completely surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a better a better positioning here would be hold on the low ground, because you can easily avoid this high ground in the mirror matchup. You can easily avoid this high ground by playing on this side of the point. So the Doomfist, even if he tries to engage from the high ground, he's gonna be super predictable, and you can have a lot of time to react to it.
Because you'd have to come from like all the way over here.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're holding here, if you're holding on the low ground, I would start off by being somewhere around here with the Orisa shield, because they can go from the high ground, then you're backing off here. They can go from main, then you're just using the kill box here. If they go left side, uh, yeah, their left side, so your right side, the kill box is here. And usually, what happens in like the pro scene is teams are holding up close, and the other team is just pushing from left side. So you just end up like you currently are, or is a shield here from one team, or is a shield here from the other team. No, I haven't seen a lot of teams like trying to go high ground, but if they go high ground, you just play this side.
Okay. So basically, this would be like the most advantageous area to hold on the map, then, right? Because there's
Yeah, and the
Just
in
that-
like in the mirror matchup, if they have a hit scan, then it's kind of different. Then you can hold a little bit closer, and as soon as you see somebody, you can just run into them because they don't have the bro potential of you.
Mhm.
But you guys are really good at doing this. I saw yesterday. So as soon as you see like a widow or a Nash, you just run into them, and you basically kill them because you have more bro.
Do you always try to set up Doomfist on a high ground pre-fight? Like you could set Doomfist up on like the rotating bar thing in this scenario, maybe.
Um, not necessarily. Like it's if you can do it always. Like he's gonna have a better positioning, but if like the team overall position is gonna suffer because of it, then you don't need to do it.
Okay.
Because you're basically going in with your punch most of the time, and you don't need high ground for this.
So where would you like me to set up if we set up down here?
If you
Just
set
with
it
the
down
team?
here, if you know where they're like you can basically be here as a in scout from where they're pushing, because I don't think anyone, not in the mirror, nobody can push you there. Like if they have a hit scan, then you don't need to scout there. But if you're playing the mirror matchup, you can just stand here and you can do whatever you want from here. Actually,
Okay.
like you
If-
can engage there, you can drop back with the team.
Oh, or like if. Okay, I see what you're saying. Because like if we were holding like here initially, and they come this way, he can go from here to here.
Yeah,
If they come through here, and then we fight them over this kill box, he can come here. And then if they push out too fast and we don't react, and we have to back up to here, he can just like boop 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 come over here, and like
yeah,
maybe punch straight main from there.
yeah,
And if they go high ground, then he rotates to be in with us and we play
Yeah.
attack, more or less.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Or you can like go from main, so you can have, if you're the rest of the team is here, then you're here, then you have like two angles of attack. But of course, you need to be careful with it because it's kind of risky.
Mhm.
Okay, next one. I fucked up something here, I think. Okay, so where is the kill box here in this map?
With the way we're
Is-
currently set up, probably below Bell.
Yeah, I'm thinking like right here, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a good setup. And when you're, especially like on King of the Hill maps, when you're setting up like this, um, and you want to go for like an aggressive fight, you have space control, you had ultimate here. This is your kill box. Usually, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have one angle of attack here with the core of the team that's gonna go from directly into their faces, and then you're gonna have somebody coming out from the left side, and then you need somebody on the right side as well, which is Reaper. So they basically run into you instead of you flanking them. But this fight, it turned out really bad because they scouted out Unhuman with their Doomfist. So Unhuman, just keep in mind that this is a position that the enemy Doomfist can scout like this. So what he did is he basically went for you and he got the kill off, and that's why they won the fight, because he even interrupted the Moira ultimate.
Mm.
Yeah. So keep in mind this position here is really predictable.
So where should I set up? Just
Um,
the team or here?
well, honestly, you can set up here on the low ground, or you can also stay here, but you need to watch out for the Doomfist. Like you're gonna hear him charging up abilities
Yeah.
if that happens. So as soon as you know that, like you saw, he used his rocket punch and then seismic slam, right?
Mhm.
I think this is what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So as soon as you see him do that, you can basically start charging up your right click and just punch him into a wall.
Okay.
Does this affect how the rest of the team is playing this, like in as they like walk in? Because it like the Doomfists are like 1v1ing or whatever over here.
Oh, you still have like 5v5, and you
Okay.
will have two angles of attack plus the kill box setup. So you can go as planned, and your Doomfist would have the advantage because he's gonna be using less abilities. So you're still in a really good position to win the fight.
Oh yeah, because he had to use rocket punch and slam to like get over here.
Yeah, like this is not a favorable fight for the enemy Doomfist, unless your Doomfist is not paying attention to it. And you can see you actually went in, you did a lot of damage on them, but they got the picks.
One thing we could have done differently is thrown the Sig Shield in Anna's face because they have an Anna.
Mm.
Yeah, you can also do that, but then like it would be kind of hard, and like how fast paced the fight is, to just constantly keep replacing your shield in the face of Anna, because she can basically move around. It's what you can do is, if you have, let's say this is your Orisa, you just put your shield like this in between the two of them. Like this is Anna and this is Orisa. So then you push into Orisa. Now I wanted to show you. Okay. So we already established where the kill box is for this point. What do you think? How do you think you can get past it and not take the fight there?
Take
Shouldn't we
high
just
ground.
go through high ground or through red?
Yeah, usually high ground, because this is not a big map, and it's really easy for Doomfist to engage from high ground. So you taking the high ground from him is gonna be limiting their options. It's gonna be a little bit longer to take the fight, but you're gonna end up in a way better position to fight.
So like if we play someone who comes out like this way instead, is there still like a kill box area like over here by the shrine thing? Or
Yeah.
like okay, yeah.
Yeah, like you're still controlling the whole thing here. I don't think I'm gonna move the camera over there to show you better. But you can see that's what they did. They basically engaged on you as soon as you started walking there.
That was a brain dead
And
mistake.
even though it was super predictable, like you saw him from a mile, there's not a lot you can do there. This is like the whole area. When they drop, they still have like this area to be flanked from, the other high ground that you can set up, and the other low ground that you can basically take for different angles of approach. So for example, setting up a Reaper here when they're coming out from this side would mean that their Orisa is gonna drop here, right? And when their supports drop, they're probably, if they get pushed, they're not gonna go to this side. Instead, they're just gonna go to here. So you can set it up like this: your Reaper here, and they literally just walk into him with their backline.
Oh.
Then again, you can get forced out if you get flanked by an enemy Reaper. So there's always something you can do to break the kill box, like different routing. On some maps, you can set up a flank to just touch point, so they will need to go back. Like let's say control center, if they hold you in the choke point, not in the corridor. And that's another reason the corridor is way better to hold.
Because you can't get flanked through here.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Now this one is tricky here. Let me just adjust the camera because I'm an autist and I'm just moving like an idiot. There we go. So they have 1, 2, 3 ways of approach here, and it's really hard to cover all of them with your DPS players. Like, it's really hard to set up a Doomfist, especially if they gonna come out of here. you basically need to walk into you basically need to engage from the in their faces. You can't really set up a different angle.
So you have to get early scouting.
Um, it's also kind of hard to get any scouting here.
There's one spot I don't know how you draw. Can I draw? This, you can
Yeah.
go up here and you could peek over real quick.
As Lucio?
Yep, that's what I sometimes use. It's a little
Oh,
tricky.
okay. If you can do it consistently, then that's gonna be really good for you guys, just to
Yeah.
know what you want to do. And this here was a good engage from you. It was just a little bit late, because you can see they go in, they set up the shield. You're still not coalescing, and then
Oh, we're gonna get
this
pulled off.
this
Yeah.
pull really fucks you here. And you can see Reaper is a little bit late with the engage as well, but then the rest of the team is super late, and you just get pushed off from the high ground. And there was a Reaper in your backline. Still, you kind of tried to use the kill box. It was just a little bit late. Next example of this map got me really triggered, because they really fucked up here, and you could have then you should have punished them here. So you retake the point. You're setting up again on the high ground. You have no idea where they're gonna come from. Then you see the main. They start shooting at you from main. So what they're gonna do is, there's literally only one thing they can do. Is basically just walk onto point. And this whole area here is one giant kill box for you guys. Like, you need to engage on them. As soon as you see somebody makes this rotation, this is probably the most stupid thing you can do. Even if you have a Mei, you can't really wall off this whole area. So it's gonna be really hard for them to react to your engage here. And you see, you just let them, and
And they
after
bonus.
after they set up on point, then you went for the pull. Instead, what you should be doing is, you see them, you go in for the pull. Ideally, Doomfist would be here. He can engage on them like head first. During a rotation, it's engaging during a rotation is going to be really hard for them to react to you properly, even if you do it like super obvious. So Doomfist can engage from this side. Then Reaper should be. To be honest, I don't know where to put the Reaper here. If you know they're gonna come main, yeah, you put him there. But then if they actually come from kitchen or top, he needs to TP into them basically.
Couldn't he just always start like high ground, and then if we can figure out where they're coming from, he can always TP to like any of these spots, right?
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Like, cause I feel like that's what he was thinking. Cause look where he's standing, right? He's like right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
So he can TP to all of these places.
yeah.
And
I think
it's okay if he like goes after us, cause if he just TPs behind them, well, and Human's like distracting all of them. It's like if Human's like up here and he goes in like right now, and we come in this way, they still have to like think about like both of us right here, and then whichever way, like wherever T time like TPs, like if he TPs like here because they're like fighting us here, or maybe they already made it here and he TPs like over here, they probably won't see him coming because there's like this like L thing. It might be hard to see him,
yeah, that's true.
or like, or if he sits like here and he teleports like right there, if they're all over there, there's no way they can see him. I don't think.
Yeah, I think this is a really good idea. Just set up here and just TP accordingly. It's really good because even if you're late for this kill box and this fight, if you engage on them while they're rotating, it's like six different players would need to make one decision, would need to take the same decision, and they would need to understand if they are going to complete their rotation with the risk of them getting picked, go back, so you would kind of lose your positioning, or just take the fight. So they have three different options, and they have six players to make like a split second decision, everyone for themselves, basically.
Hmm.
And if they're not coordinated enough, they're just gonna get split. Somebody would continue, somebody would stay to take the fight, somebody might even back off. You never know. And then Reaper just going in a little bit later is gonna be super easy for him um, to just recognize who is getting split from the team and just pick them off.
All this requires pretty early scouting, though. I mean, the only thing I could see, I shot up here. We already had a damage orb there, so that's kind of dumb. You could also throw a damage orb like against that, and it bounces this way, so you can kind of scout like this whole path. Or I
Oh,
could try
that's
to get
kind of
up here and
smart.
peek over, or stand over here, and then I could just literally see everyone and scout that way. Or back
I
there.
think I think if we're like here, right? Like let's say we're all like over here. We can see all the entry points. And then
But you're
we
late to
should be
that.
able to. Huh?
You'll be late to get to drop over here if you stand up there.
Well, I mean, if we stand like standing here, I don't think is that much quicker to like. Is this like what was this like a quarter of a second like difference?
It's fair.
Cause, cause if we stand here, then it's gonna take us really long to get over here, or to get over here too. I feel like this is like the best medium for all the places. It's like the closest to all of them, I think.
Yeah,
Whereas like
that's a good place to hold, I think.
I don't know, because I feel like, and probably a lot of teams aren't gonna come this way, right? Because like Ito said, if we play like better teams, they're gonna be like, well, this is a huge like kill box. We won't go this way. So if we always stand here, and more times than not, teams go this way or this way, we're gonna have like a disadvantage here maybe. And also, if this area is so big, if we're like a second late, would it matter as much? Because there's more like room to kill them. Whereas like this is like it's just like this or like just like this. I don't know.
If they're
Well,
here.
this is also the most open choke out of the three, so you're kind of gonna see them a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
And I think we want to probably save our damage orb for the engage unless we have like ults, like a lot of ults to use.
Yeah, still having the damage orb is pretty nice.
So like
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
I agree. I think the team stay here, tea time here, and then maybe like Anhuman here. Because Anhuman can kind of pick where he wants to go. He doesn't really have to stay. And then this is good for tea time because he could just go anywhere,
hmm
and then we all can go anywhere either.
yeah, Micro's
Yeah.
Lucio, so he's quick. So like I guess if you really wanted to scout like in whatever you do up here, you could probably get back to where you need to be.
It's really hard to. You have to go here and you have to jump from like from that side to that side and you get up here and you have like a second where you could peek or a second where you could peek.
It's not an easy climb.
No, it's not. This spot's like really easy to see him. This spot's really easy to see him. I haven't tried this. You might be able to get up there, and I haven't really tried that. But this one, you definitely don't have vision.
Okay. Um, I mean, with your amp, especially with the new patch, I
Yeah.
think everyone should be able to react on time.
I agree.
Oh yeah, because the amp speed is better now.
Yeah.
And they nerfed they nerfed wall riding enough towards about the same speed, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tested it. It feels like exactly the same on the walls,
Yeah,
but he
whenever
moves
they
fast.
change Lucio, they always adjust it to where his wall riding speed is like never different.
It's good because if they didn't, then all the rollouts would have to be completely redone.
Yeah. See, maybe that's why they take so long, guys. They're just testing out all the Lucio speeds. Like we gotta get this right. Anyway, continue.
Other thing I didn't say, so we don't really do this scouting wise. You have Moira, you have me, and you have Dad. Dad can scout by just shooting his stuff and bounce it off a wall, so like Dad can have this angle, Moira orb can go that way, for example. So that would help with knowing which way they're going. And then I could also sometimes get vision. This map's a little harder.
Yeah, there are a couple of things you can send to scout. Like for example, you can bait them with the Sigma shield here. So as soon as they start shooting, because they will take this corner and they will see they will see it, and then I think at least one person is gonna be tempted and start shooting at it.
That's kind of big brain.
And as soon as it starts taking damage, then you know where they're coming from. Yeah, but then again, it goes the same for if they rotate kitchen.
It is true.
Well, maybe it could be like if they shoot it like only a little bit, then maybe they went this way. If they keep shooting it, maybe they're going this way.
Yeah, that would require testing.
Yeah. Just thinking, you know.
Thinking emoji. So next scrim, first map, Nepal.
Yes.
Alright.
I think Moira Orb's probably the best way to scout though, but you can only guess one of the three ways. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to Busan. So you're playing against a really strange composition. Um, where where is your kill box against this composition, and where is it against the mirror matchup? Sorry.
I think against that, it's like in the little hallway. But in mirror match, it'll probably be like here. No, here.
If this comp's weird, mirror match is definitely like here or up here or down here, depending on what path they take. This
Okay,
comp,
well, okay. In this, we gotta think about like because everything's the same except really like is the same except these. So where does, dude? Why do you keep doing that? Okay, whatever. So like the widow has like different sightlines and stuff, right?
that one and that one are the most common.
Right. So if widow's here, that's dangerous for us. If widow is up top, that's pretty dangerous. If she goes all the way around coast, that's pretty dangerous.
Sorry.
So I'm thinking maybe like anytime we see like a widow or a Pharah in like one of these like long sightline areas, that's a cue to try and just into the main group, I think.
It actually might be further up here, because if you take the kill box back here, Widow off angles gets pressure on you. If you take the kill box up front, then she can't off angle. She has to use that sightline, which you could shield off.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Because the
Maybe
Pharah,
maybe at launch, like because they also have a Pharah, and this is a really tight area where she could definitely farm a lot of ult charge and possibly barrage. I just toss my Sig shield like that in the air above us. So maybe she can't get as
and
much
we just
damage.
run in this way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we also
Yeah.
go in, but it's like the Pharah in this, while we're all in this tight area, is gonna get a lot of value.
Mm-hmm. Well, but what I was kind of thinking was like the Pharah is like trying to push in kind of this way, and like maybe like Widow's like trying to push in this way, and they get there before their team is like all the way through or whatever. So like if we see like the Pharah like up here or the Widow like up here or something, if we just run into their team, which might even be like up here, but like probably fight in here, I think that's the best. Because then it's hard for a Widow to like shoot like vertically downwards. And if she's
Yeah,
over
that's-
here or over here, she can't do anything at all. And then it's like 6v5.
Yep. I think this is exactly where you fight. As soon as you see them in this corridor, you just go in. I guess the mirror though, it's a little bit different. So they have 3 entrances with almost nobody taking up the middle. They usually either go from the balcony or they go from all the way over here. They both those routings have their own good points and weak points. So if you go from here, you have a good high ground advantage. They can't really teams can't really stay here for long if you have this balcony controlled. So you would need to fall either back to point or just back on your side of the high ground and just take a neutral. But most teams would set up Reaper like this, somewhere here, maybe even on the balcony itself. So as soon as they drop down, Reaper is gonna be in their backline. So that's really flank prone, this approach. While this one, there's basically no way for you to flank. You kind of need to take the open fight, but it's way less likely for them to sorry less likely for the team for the defending team to back off. Instead, they're just gonna take the fight here. But at least you'll be fighting from one angle, maximum two if they send somebody from that side.
But
So
you
what? Yeah.
Could you just sit like your Doom up here then? And then he can see all of these spots. And then that way you can always fight them at any point.
You're versus a widow though.
I
Like,
know,
is
No,
it
I'm
the
talking
mirror?
about the mirror.
Just mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, if you set up a Doomfist here and they come up on the high ground here, he's just gonna get spammed out, and then he needs to back
Okay.
off as well.
What about there?
So, he's too far away for an engage here. No, actually, it's up here.
Yeah, so like, I'm trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
the
can
lowest
engage on
spot.
everything. Yeah, he can engage on
yes.
everything here.
You can
So
get
to
up
get
there.
up there, do I go right here and try to like, do you know if you can hack this? to get
Yeah,
up
you
here
can
and
do
then
that.
uppercut
Yeah,
up
yeah.
there? Okay.
I think so.
Yes.
Like, I think you have to do a wall hop, and then you can do an upper to get up here, an uppercut.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you
Use some
shoot off
that
this
little
one,
wall.
and then you can uppercut again to get
Yeah.
to here.
Or yeah, you could uppercut, and then you could E up there
Mhm.
with like the fast E thing.
Where was I? Oh yeah. Last approach. This is the approach that most of the Overwatch League teams are taking. So
Didn't we
how they
just
set it
talk
up?
about that?
Yeah. I just wanted to tell you how exactly they set it up, because they're sacrificing a lot of space. They're willing to get into a choke But instead of that, they would like to not get flanked that easily. So what they do is they basically come out from this side and they send Reaper on the Mega. They TP with the Reaper on the Mega. So if you push into them, they're gonna have like two different angles to fight you with. And then Reaper can roam around from this side if you start pushing them up. So you still have like two group system working for you. And as soon as you walk out of this, then it's like an even fight. It's 50-50. They've lost their defender's advantage. I don't know how to counterplay the Reaper TPing there, to be honest. Unless maybe you have your Reaper waiting for him there, but then again, I don't know how you're gonna scout this. You're just gonna need
Damage
to know
orb.
that.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking, right, is if we always have Reaper play here by default and Doomfist is here by default, if we see them coming this way, and we walk like this way, right? Maybe we try and fight them at the Mega instead. Like because they mostly rotate to the Mega, right? Like they're like
No, they're taking up the fight here.
yeah. So I'm saying like, what if you if in like because they're always having the Reaper teleport to the Mega, so they can fight here, right? So I was saying like, what if you went here instead, right? And then like let's say you set up like a resist shield like here or something, God, like that. So they're here, right? They still have to push to get to the point. And if they might still want to walk this way, so the Reaper can like shoot like that. But then we will have where they might have like two angles, we might get three, because if our Reaper is still hiding over here, that's like one, and this is like two, and then Doomfist is like three, like here, and they only have these two.
Your Reaper is gonna get scouted for sure, because he can't really hide there.
Okay. The only other thing I would think of is like you can have like Sigma contest the Reaper, like if we go into fight right here and we don't see the Reaper with them, it might be good to just assume like he's in the Mega and we put like a Sigma shield like over here.
Well, the reason this is so popular is because you need to engage fast on them, considering you're holding this,
Yeah.
you're controlling this space. So you don't really have the time to scout for Reaper where he is, if he's in their team, if they're like 5 or 6, because you're just gonna lose a lot of time. So you kind of need to engage on them. If they want to rotate here, you can just cut them off. If they want to take the fight there, then you take it there. You have the advantage as defender's team. The only thing is just to make sure to not push that hard into them, because this would give like wider angles for the Reaper. But then again, you still need to take the fight, and you need to clean it up.
So maybe
So- Maybe Sigma shield on this side.
I'm thinking maybe like because if we're default like always standing around here, maybe Sigma shield forward and then so like like Sigma shields like that or whatever, and then maybe I can plop like Orisa barrier here, and then maybe our supports can try and use like this plant as like LOS from like Reaper flanking from the Mega, and we can still fight them here, but then we have like a little bit of like LOS coverage.
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
So like
And then I'm pretty sure this high ground position from Doomfist is way better for you It's way better to have this position than the mega position with the Reaper, I think.
Yeah, because we could probably just like if I'm here already, the tank we'll probably be fighting like the tanks face up like this, and the Moira Lucio is probably like somewhere over here, and we could probably just like have Anhuman like drop while charging a punch, and we could pull one of these supports and punch him into a wall,
Yeah.
and then we hopefully would be like 6v5, and then the Reaper like flanking our back line might not matter as much because we can push in more aggressively after that.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea.
And scouting is pretty easy as Lucio if you just stay up here, because they can't really pull you because you have time just to back around this corner and then you're safe. So then I can usually tell if they go this way or this way or this way.
Yeah, that's true as well. If they don't have a hit scan or Pharah. Okay, next one is. I'm not even going to. Oh yeah, this is where I wanted to explain the how to retake. I'm not even going to watch Mecha Base.
Fair.
Okay, so this map is a lot more open than the other two. Like even downtown is not that open, and there's not that many flanking options as this map. So what you're doing right now is you're it's a little bit forward though. Okay, there we go. So what you basically did is you hold this choke. So your kill box was something like this. And it's super easy for doesn't matter the composition to just flank you. And I don't know, I really don't know why this team didn't do it. Why for some reason they just took one or two fights in this choke. Even with Diash, they didn't send somebody flanking, they didn't do anything like this. But a better team would just surround you super easy. What you should be looking to do is basically hold your side of the point. It's kind of hard to maintain a kill box here without the risk of you getting completely surrounded and just getting caught out of position. So what usually you would want to do is, you can see they're just taking up a fight head on. I don't know why, but there's no way they're gonna win it. And there you go. I don't know what happened here. I think they went this way, and you kind of got forced back, and then you just got split a bit.
I hate this eraser.
Just use the undo button. Just use the undo button.
Okay, so the way you can hold here is your side of the point, and then you're picking up if you're holding, if you're gonna set up your support more to the right or more to the left. Especially if you're playing against a hit scan, what usually teams would do is, let's say you go and set up your support more to the right. What teams are going to do is they're just going to push you from this side while they send their hit scan here. So hit scan here, rest of the team here. You're standing like this and you're facing this way, and they have such a good off angle on you. So what you can do is, against the hit scan, set up like this, send your Reaper to the right side. As soon as the hit scan, as soon as you hear the hit scan or he shoots, you just go into him and kill him basically. So they won't be able to set up a crossfire on you. You can also do it against the mirror matchup. If you set up like this, and they will send somebody, and they will face you like this. You send your Doomfist on the other side, on the same side that they're pushing from. But you of course you try to hide until you're ready to engage. So,
So we-
again, yeah.
So we just use like the drum as cover and play on our side the whole time and have our DPS try and contest their DPS.
Well, against the hit scan, yeah, but against mirror matchup is not really for contesting their DPS. It's more like you fall back so you won't get out rotated, you won't get flanked, and then you send the Doomfist here, so you would have another angle of attack.
Okay.
Um,
I finally figured out what comp they were running, and I forgot that they made this comp a while ago, but it's supposed to counter Bermuda Academy. Remember that strat they ran into us?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
with the Hanzo? This comp that they're running is designed to counter that.
okay, so here you kind of went and completely brain dead. You wanted to go early engage on them. They counter engaged on you. You weren't ready to set up, and they used a lot of ultimates. Still, this was a fight you could have won. You weren't that far behind in ultimate economy. It's just that you kind of needed a little bit more patience and a little bit more setup here. So you can see EMF, you're already running into them, and both of your DPS are not in position. You can see they're not doing any damage until you get engaged on. And until you die, they're not even in the fight.
Mhm.
So what you can do here is, against a composition like this, against a composition with a hit scan, when you have a brawly composition, is you can again send your Reaper on the flank. He can even TP into them. As long as he doesn't get headshot immediately, he should be able to give you enough of their attention drawn towards him, and you would be able to take a better engage. He would have more value, and you would have a lot more space to work with. And this, I feel like this is a problem you have as a team as a whole, is that EMF just you just go in, and you're not really taking into consideration if your DPS are in position to take the fight. And considering they're both like really close range, if they're not in position, you're gonna lose them for like crucial couple of seconds, in which they're just not gonna do anything because they're gonna be too far away. So you kind of need to get in the habit of asking your DPS players if they're ready, because when you were here, there was no rush for you to just start walking in immediately. You could have been like, okay, our DPS ready, And then again, I'm not sure the DPS players knew exactly that what they had to do here, because you kind of just went into them. So keep that in mind. That's for you, EMF. And
Mhm.
then for both Tea Time and Unhuman, if you're playing against any composition that is not Broly, like this is not really Broly. If they have a hit scan, you can out brawl them easily. So if you're playing against a composition like this, Reaper and Doomfist have a lot more space to work with. They don't need to peel that much for the tanks as in mirror matchup. So you need to set up and be ready for engage as soon as your Orisa goes in, so you can go in as well, and just make it simultaneously. Okay, that was it for the cube boxes, and now now I want us to go over Havana map,
Havana.
because I saw a lot of mistakes from your Bastion setup there.
We ran Bash. Okay.
Bro, suck at
Oh, this
Bastion.
map. Okay. I was thinking of Hanamura. This is Rialto.
This is Havana.
This is
This is
Savannah.
Havana.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm tired. Okay.
Micro just burned out from school, you know.
There are two
Too much
H's.
learning. Too much learning.
Alright, anyways.
Um, I wasn't planning on giving you anything else than the kill box because it might be a little bit too much as information, but I feel like you need to know this before you head into next scrim, because as soon as we go on payload, I kind of have the feeling you're just gonna feed your ass off.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
About how we do it.
Okay, so what's going on here is they are pushing in, and you need to retake. You need to. You don't have any space here, so you need to take control of space and just win the fight off from it. And I want you to look at the timing of the shield you're putting in, and the timing of when Tea Time is setting up. So this is a good timing for you, but your your win condition here was to start off with the matrix. So what happened is you set up one shield, Bastion setup, you set up the Orisa shield,
Oh, nice anti-block.
it went down, and then you went for the matrix. So you're already way behind in the shield war, and then you go for the ultimate play. While instead of you did it at the same moment the Bastion set up, you would have completely destroyed their shields before yours went down. If you understand what I mean. But then again, really good off angle from the Pharah, and you're getting a lot of kills here, so you end up winning this fight.
You guys
I
see
feel like
that
we should have
touch?
helped this point.
Yeah, you should have. I'm gonna get to it. So first thing is synergize better. I can't really type it. So first problem with your Bastion is to synergize a lot better with your abilities and just um, engage simultaneously. Like if you set up the Bastion and you have uh, either Matrix or Bongo, you need to do it immediately with the Bastion setting up, because otherwise he's just wasting crucial time. Where's the next fight? Okay. Where should you set up here with the bastion? You can see there, you push them back. It's right before the checkpoint. Where should you be setting up right now?
I feel like that's not a bad angle
I
that we
feel like
took.
here is kind of good, maybe. Or like maybe, ooh, maybe over here actually.
Like you have three spots where you highlighted
'Cause
there.
then
The fourth
which
one's
one?
okay too.
The last one.
This one?
Yeah, they can't shoot
Well,
mortality at all.
yeah, either this one or this one.
Oh
It
yeah.
doesn't really matter. Both are good. Um, you set up here because first of all you have corner in which you can place your immortality. Second of all, you have some cover behind this corner, and the third part is your far can actually take a lot more aggressive off angle. She can literally just yeah, she can go there. Wait, it's really dependent on when they went here.
Did we try that? We just
But
got
anyway,
absolutely
even if they go main or they go from here, your Farah can literally just start from the balcony, and she can go behind them, and just you can also use this corner as cover. You can get a little bit split off from the team, but you should be fine as long as you have the Mercy with you and they don't have a hit scan. Then you should be able to survive. So what they did is they went in the small room.
Oh, why? We need to have Sigma with us too, right?
So they went in the small room, and you see Farah is just then going for the flank,
Yeah, this is super late. I mean, they know you're up there
and
at that point.
she just gets deleted as soon as she pokes, as she peeks, and you have the problem of not having your shield with you again. Um, I know you got pulled up here after your ultimate, but there's literally no reason for you to stand here, considering you're trying to win the shield war. You can see because the Orisa shield went down so early, you had to, and you weren't there. You had to immortality field first, and yours is in a really bad position compared to theirs. You, if you dropped here, maybe Raid wouldn't have had to use his immortality this early because he saw that there is no Orisa shield and he just had to use it immediately afterwards. And then again, this positioning here just
Yeah.
let them
This is
completely
my bad. Should
surround
have
you.
gone over here.
Yeah. This is something you need to think about. Like always set up the bastion around the corner, around like a small room where you can use your immortality. You can easily back off. You won't get surrounded. You won't get flanked. Yeah, this is another example of how you should set up the bastion here. You can see what you did.
Did we take a terrible angle, or is it just me?
Well, it's this one I actually like it if you're able to set it up here, because with the immortality you will need to and considering how stupid their setup right now, you have a lot of advantage when it comes to the immortality.
Hmm. But also we had the touch cart, and I feel like we just like practically killed
Yes,
ourselves doing that.
yeah, you basically killed yourselves here. Um, this is another. This is like part of the problem of you not going in a 6 EMF, like you not waiting up for everyone else to be ready.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like if you only waited a bit for the Bastion to be able to set up, and you placed your shield here, then somebody else could have touched easily. Even you could have dropped and then shield whenever you need it. Because as soon as they have the Bastion in their face shooting, even if you go down to contest, they won't notice you for like a couple of seconds. And if they start shooting at you, you can play around the payload. Because look at how the Bastion is set up. He won't really see you.
Yeah.
Um, and if he tries to shoot at you, then he's gonna lose the fight with your Bastion. And the
Mm-hmm.
whole composition is to enable your Bastion.
As Ana with this composition, should I be playing the flank or should I just be playing to basically heal need us to keep us alive for an extra second or two and help with that shield war? Like, should I flank and try to hit an anti here, for example?
Um, I don't know. Probably not. Although you have a lot of healing already with Baptiste.
Like,
I'm
should I be
I'm
on a
not really
Mercy?
sure how Diana. Yeah, probably. Because I'm not really sure how Diana fits in like double shield. You need to take really aggressive off angles that are probably gonna get you killed.
Yep, that's fair. I've seen some teams just like literally run them while you're up, but then you have a problem once you run out of heal juice. And then
Yeah,
Mercy
But yeah,
makes sense
Vap
too.
though. Vap doesn't run out of healing.
yeah. Also, Moira is not really gonna give any utility. Ana would give a lot of utility, but she won't be able to use it because of the double shield. And you're kind of left with only Bop and Mercy. Because Mercy can basically erase your mistakes if you make one. And then again, her ultimate is really good to stack up with either Bongo or Matrix.
Hmm. Alright.
I think Mercy would be better, to be honest.
Okay.
Even if you're not running the Pharah.
Now, if I'm
Also,
playing against a Pharah, like say we're playing against, we're swapping to this comp versus like a Pharah and a Mercy, but then would it make sense to go Ana?
yeah, that would make more sense.
Okay.
Now we know, boys.
Next one. We're almost done. Okay. This one I wanted to ask Tea Time, but since he's not here. So they have the Bastion here. Their Pharah is using the corner here. And he sets up right in the middle of the road. Um,
Why not
this
there?
goes well.
That corner's
This
so good.
this goes for everyone on the team. Like, where would you set up the Bastion here?
I
guess.
kind of wanted him to not be on cart in this. I wanted him to like be in like somewhere in here. That's where I was trying to path to, because you see me over here.
Yeah. So basically, you would want to use this side here as a cover, and then you can also use your immortality when you need it.
There's a really
And
stupid Baptiste trick that's a rank trick where you literally put immortality down there. It costs you 20 seconds, but you can get a window for free. And they could just win off a window. But that's like a really stupid trick that only works once.
Yeah, that's also something I wanted to tell you. This is a little bit more advanced, but if you're both playing in like small rooms or corners and there's no way for you to get the immortality, it's way better for you to just wait it out and not shoot at them because you're not really doing anything. You can shoot at shields, but as soon as the shield goes down and there's still immortality, there's literally no reason for you to shoot at them because then you're gonna give them so much ult charge. And support ultimates and the Bastion composition are really strong, especially like Baptiste.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of hard to synergize to play around it. Actually, it's gonna be really hard for you to play around it.
So would you like
But I
if you're on
well,
defense?
let's say the way they're set up, you set up over here and you start shooting at each other. There's no way either team is gonna destroy the other one's immortality, right? Unless they fuck it up
Hmm.
or you fuck it up. So as soon as somebody plays it down, you shoot at shields, you destroy the shield, so you stop shooting. While they shoot at your shield, they destroy it, they continue to shoot you, and during the whole time, your Baptiste is just pumping up the heals, and he's just building ult charge. And then, like as you said, 20 seconds later, he already has Matrix, and they don't have immortality for it, so they're just gonna get melted. I actually never tried this with a team, so I'm not sure if it's actually a viable thing. But
It's a comp strat. I don't
I
know if
don't
it actually works.
I don't know why it wouldn't work, to be honest.
Fozix did it on stream at some point, and I was like, that's actually kind of smart.
um,
It gives it away pretty quickly though. It's like why aren't they shooting us? And it's like, oh, they don't want us to get ult charge.
yeah, you can't kill the Bastion, so
Do you
there's
just
nothing you
stay
can do
there, or do
there.
you like rotate out? And
Well, no, you want to stand there because they have to still shoot at you.
oh yeah, it's true. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is another example. I don't know if you remember yesterday when I told you that you don't need to set up the Bastion on payload.
Shouldn't you go this way and then take this corner?
Yeah,
Or you can go
exactly.
that way, but that doesn't have an angle here, so this way is better.
Or you
So
can
who's
just set up. You can just set up here as well.
That's
so who's
true.
pushing the payload, or is it just idle?
Arisa.
This is something that we need to decide together because it's either Orisa or Sigma, and at this point, I'm not really sure who's the better one to do it.
I
Like
think
the
it
other
should
one,
be. I think it should be Arisa because Sigma can shield Bastion from like crucial damage at any point because his shield can move like at will. Mine is on like a 9-second cooldown.
It's
So
gonna
if
be
I
bad.
just stick it on, like if I just use the cart for cover for myself, right? I walk around, and then if I need to, I can put it on the cart and then have it move with me.
Why
And then
not?
once
I think six push
Why
card down.
not May?
May doesn't
that's a
shield.
pretty good question.
Because
Oh,
there's a clip
oh wait, she has
that
a
Matter
wall. Wait a minute.
posted where they did that with the Reaper, and the Reaper pushed cart, and the whole team like flanked far left on Rialto and just took high ground and killed the Bastion team, and they can't really kill a Reaper that easily. It's like
Yeah,
the same concept.
because if you set up one of the tanks on payload while the Bastion is somewhere on the high ground, you're gonna lose a lot of shield war there. Because if you're with Orisa there, you need to shield yourself, and you're gonna lose like 900 HP of shields
Hmm.
that you probably won't win unless you use ultimates and they don't have.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's a good idea to move it with the Mei.
I love it.
All right. I have to go to class, but you guys continue. I'll be back.
Let's see if I
later.
can find the clip of that.
There's only 2 more examples I want to show you. This is where you kind of threw your whole momentum. Like you kind of want to fight,
Oh, yeah.
and then you decided to push in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
all know now.
Yeah, this is basically where you want to
I
set
didn't
up.
know the May was up here. The May wasn't up here. I don't think is terrible, but this spot is definitely better.
I mean,
This spot's just better at the end of the day.
yeah, this part is just better. Like, let's say they engage on you when the payload is here, and you have somebody on the payload that basically won't be able to help you in there, in this small room. Yeah, May won't be able to do anything, so you're gonna be fighting 5v6.
Hmm.
So setting up here is way better, and you just keep on the pressure with the payload.
So
So
do you set
they
up
would
here? Or sorry, you go.
they would need to make a decision on what to do. They would either need to send somebody to payload or commit to the bastion, and you're basically pushing them to make a mistake there. And you, of course, you have like defender's advantage since you have the space control. You're gonna have the earlier shield. Yeah, they have shit ton of woods.
And do you path up here right after you win the fight over here? Or do you wait a second? I guess it doesn't really matter. The real question is, do you path that way or do you path this way?
If you win the payload here, right?
Yeah.
Payload fight here. Doesn't really matter. Like whichever is faster.
Okay. And do you ever try to keep 3 on cart at any point, or is it always 1 on cart? I mean, they're gonna have another fight, so probably 1 on cart.
Well, yeah. If they're gonna have another fight, you don't need 3 on card. You better put the other 2 in a position where they would be in a good position in the fight. And if you feel like you can push it until the end, then you keep 3 on card.
This is the thing, Carfixer told me, I don't really know if I like it or not, but he suggested at some point that you could put BAP on payload and you could still get the healing utility at some points, and you could like bounce mortality off walls, but that is like really tricky to do and it's extremely greedy, in my opinion. But
Probably not, because let's say in this scenario you set up the bastion here, and then you have the BAP pushing up the payload all the way to here,
okay,
when
that's
they're
too
probably
far.
gonna set up either here or here.
Yeah,
Like he's gonna be so exposed, and he's probably gonna die.
okay, I agree. And versus May there, you can just icicle here, they have to drop 2, you pop Blizzard, and they all die.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, he has it, don't worry about it.
Last one. This is for Micro. This for you, the one that you asked me about Hollywood rotation. So first of all, I want to congratulate Human for the best wall I have ever seen in my life.
Oh no. no.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was confused whether you wanted me to wall here or here.
How did you end up back there? I thought you were throwing. Oh my god. He actually is the seventh player on their team.
Oh, this was really good. So this is something I've seen. I think the Vancouver Titans did it once in a league game. They went out from this side and faked out a rotation to Cafe, right? So what's the Bastion gonna do here? The Bastion composition gonna do here as soon as they see you? Yeah, that's the only thing they can do. Literally, that's the only thing they can do. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna drop to point, walk all the way here with no Lucio to speed them around, and they're just gonna try and set up. So what the Vancouver Titans did is they crossed this without amp,
Oh,
just
that's
using
hard,
cooldowns
but you could do
to.
that.
Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that with two shields. Well, actually, with the Sigma shield and the May wall, and then Sigma Matrix if you need it. And
I
then
feel
when they're here, they just, I think they wait for 1 second for cooldowns and healing up, and then they speed back to point, and so they basically catch them in rotation.
I feel like it's hard to do that because I think the Pharah would like scout us and maybe I don't know.
Well, no, that's the thing. She won't have the time to scout you. Like if she moves to, you're not even going out there. You're literally just passing here, and you're just healing up with Moira in this area, and then you immediately speed out. Like you need to do it really fast, so they won't really have the time to scout you and react to you not going.
The idea behind that is this is like normally a spot where you try to get your CDs back, and then you'd wait to push up here if they were to stay up here. But if you could bait getting most of the CDs and then just come back this way. Yeah, and then that happens.
Yeah, and then a fight breaks where the Bastion is not set up.
So do I go May there if we're gonna do that or Doom?
I would go May actually.
Okay. Yeah,
I think this is everything I wanted to show you.
And you still don't think there's a
Um,
way to get value from this rotation once you get like under here, right?
um,
Like I figure you get over here, you have your May wall, you have your Sigma shield, and then you have Matrix, and at that point you're probably about here, so you're forcing point. And if you parked most of your team over here, Bastion would have to rotate over there to get value, which eats up time, and then you can maybe even go back here. It's a little bit more chaotic.
yeah, it's a little bit more chaotic. It's definitely doable, but if you're able to make this rotation, then the Bastion is kind of stuck here because he can't really start walking there when you're
Exactly.
underneath him already.
I don't think this rotation's good outside of the first fight though, because once it's past first fight, it's just like pretty easy barrage, pretty easy bastion ult, pretty easy whatever they have. You're just gonna die in that rotation.
Yeah. Well, you basically need to take it on your first attempt
Yep.
here, because otherwise they start building ults, and then it's gonna get really hard for you.
The other comp that you could run is you go bash and you basically mirror without the Pharah, and then you just try to win because you have like an extra cooldown. But I think this comp's better on this point. Because you can set up here, but then Pharah usually flanks behind there and pumps in damage, and usually can get the mortality down.
Yeah.
Just in case a team picks up that strategy and does it against us, if we pull it out and we're on attack first, I'm just gonna go and just shoot, just to see if they come back.
That's fair, but you also don't want to get pulled here.
I'll be here.
Then he can't see in. It's more like over here.
I'll get an angle in where I don't die.
Okay. The other thing that we didn't really do that you can do against these teams is you could be a little bit greedy, and then you could try to get a pull rock and then kill the Far or Mercy and then just win because you killed the Far or Mercy. Well, not just win because it's actually kind of hard with the Bastion still, but you usually can win because they can't get an off angle on you.
Yeah, well, that's kind of hard to do, to be honest.
It's easier than like I thought it would be though. I've seen teams do it pretty consistently, but yeah, it is hard. You have to wait for Far to use boosters, and when she's at the end of her glide, then you go for it.
Yeah, but then again, on this point, she has so much cover to play around.
Yeah, it's really stupid hard to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it actually. I hope I didn't give you like way too much information. I don't know if you remember everything. I just wanted to show you like a couple of examples of queue boxes and how to hold, and then again just fix the Bastion problem because it's hurting you a lot and it's really simple to fix.
Okay. Why are you circling all the windows?
Wait, let me help you. Dude, that's so weirdly satisfying.
There are so many windows. No, who erased my window? Oh, is this a dumb spot to put Doomfist or a genius spot to put Doomfist? Probably a dumb spot.
Probably a dumb.
Okay. Unless you use uppercut to go there, and then you like glide somewhere on the roof. Which is so risky. Which at that point you just start up here. No! I'll wait the cards.
I was waiting for this. Okay, boys. I'm gonna go sleep now.
Okay.
Okay.
See you tomorrow. Do we? No, tomorrow we don't scrim, right?
Apparently not.
We might
Okay,
do it
then.
next week.
You
Okay.
guys don't want to do Fridays, but then I don't want to do Sundays unless it's a 6 to 8.
Why not?
Because I have D&D and D&D is more fun.
Probably on Friday.
And then I don't know why we don't do like, right now we're not doing Tuesdays, we're not doing Fridays, and you have a ringer for me on Sunday. It's pretty bad. I guess EMF's not here, so it's kind of weird to figure out. I mean, if you guys can make
Yeah.
a 6 to 8 on Sunday, then it like all works out, but... Oh, I should end the recording.